Many athletes play through the pain when they are injured, but today in Kelowna, the Okanagan Sun brought new meaning to that term. One of their own players, Janson Towers, was killed in a crash on the highway in Kelowna last night. As Lesley-Ann McPherson reports, despite the tragedy, the team took to the field today in his memory.
It's not the usual way to begin a playoff game. Both the Okanagan Sun and rival team the Big Kahuna Rams lined up at the specially painted 25-yard lines for a tribute and moment of silence to honor number 25, Janson Towers, the Sun's former running back who was killed in a crash Friday night. The player's pain was visible, still reeling after hearing the news that just after 8 o'clock last night at the intersection of Harvey and Gordon, Towers' motorcycle crashed into this semi.
Preliminary reports indicate that the motorcycle was traveling too fast to stop for the semi that was making a left-hand turn onto Gordon, and the motorcycle struck the tail end of the truck.
The 21-year-old Edmonton man died from his injuries on the way to the hospital. Towers' teammates were too upset to comment today, but the team's head coach says he was a person that everyone liked.
He was the kind of guy that I think, everybody tried to emulate his work ethic, because he just, like I said, refused to give up and, worked harder than anybody, not only, during the season, but, even in the off season. He was in the gym twice a day.
That kind of dedication and enthusiasm were part of the reason Towers' team voted him most inspirational player this past week.
In the first game of the season last year, injured his knee and was told that, not only would he never play football again, but he possibly wouldn't be able to walk properly again.
But after 16 months of rehab, he was back on the field and played in the last 2 games.
His enthusiasm was contagious. He enjoyed being out there. He enjoyed everything about football.
And that's why the team decided to go on with today's game, as hard as it may be.
Janson would want them to play this football game. I spoke with his mother this morning. She wants him to play this football game.
This is the second player the organization has lost in recent years. 21-year-old Jeff Halverson died from a medical condition in 2004. The loss is devastating considering teams become family.
I think the team, is dealing with it as best they can. Most of the guys got together last night at one house, and I think there was about 50 of them all got together and just talked about it and cried. And
win or lose today, every goal is not for the scoreboard, but for a friend's memory. In Kelowna, Lesley-Ann McPherson, CHBC News.
The Okanagan Sun managed to pull it together in Janson Towers' memory, winning today's game against the Surrey Big Kahuna Rams 38-7, which moves them on to the championship game next week.